How is the U.S. Army organized? Although you may be familiar with the sound of military phrases such as platoon, company, battalion, and brigade, do you know how many troops make up each of these units and how they are structured about one another? It is helpful to understand just how many forces were involved in the battles of that war, down to the number of men when one revisits the Vietnam era through the narratives in the 18-hour PBS series The Vietnam War, which Ken Burns and Lynn Novick created. Burns directed this series. How many American soldiers serve in each member of a squad? Which subordinate units are commanded by major generals, lieutenant colonels, and captains? It can be challenging to understand the magnitude of Army troops and, as a result, the human scale of battle if you do not have any connections to the United States Army. Here are some explanations regarding how the United States Army is structured, keeping in mind that the numbers are fluid and can change depending on the conflict and the assignment. U.S. Army. The active regular Army of the United States Army is supplemented by two reserve components, the Army National Guard and the Army Reserve. Together, these three make up the U.S. Army. Since the end of the Vietnam War, the United States Army has been entirely comprised of volunteers. This means that there is no longer a conscription system in place, yet, all members continue to receive pay. Field Army. The United States represents a field army. Army's most excellent unit structure of 50,000 and more soldiers. The last time a field army was deployed was in 1991, during Operation Desert Storm, which was fought in Iraq, Kuwait, and the surrounding areas of Saudi Arabia. A four-star general is in charge of an army on the field. Only during times of war have individuals been given the five-star rank of general, and General Omar Bradley was the last person to have this position before he passed away in 1981. The other generals in United States history are to have been awarded the rank of 5 stars. General Marshall, MacArthur, Eisenhower, and Arnold comprised the Army then. Corps. The United States treats the Corps as an operational unit of employment within its workforce. A Corps is comprised of 2 to 5 divisions and can have anywhere from 20,000 to 45,000 men under its command. It is typically under the leadership of a lieutenant general, who is supported by a command sergeant major and a sizable Corps staff. The Corps offers the infrastructure necessary for contemporary multinational operations. The position of lieutenant general, also known as a 3-star general. Before its merger with the Military Assistance Command, Vietnam in May 1972, the United States Army, Vietnam was in charge of all service and logistical units of the United States Army stationed in South Vietnam. After the merger, the USARV became known as the USARV, MACV Support Command. I Field Force and II Field Force was the names given to the Corps-level headquarters of the United States Army to prevent confusion with the Corps regions of the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. I Field Force, Vietnam, was in charge of the 12 provinces in the Central Highlands, while II Field Force, Vietnam, was in the order of the 11 provinces in and around Saigon. 1971 was the year that saw the disbanding of both field forces. Division. A division typically comprises 3 elements of brigade size and is led by a significant general aided by 2 brigadier generals. The number of soldiers in a division can range anywhere from 10,000 to 16,000. It can carry out extensive tactical operations in addition to sustained battles and procedures on the battlefield. Divisions are given numbers and tasks that correspond to those numbers based on the structures of the divisions. Significant tactical actions for the Corps are carried out by divisions, which also can fight extended battles and engagements. The following are a few illustrations of several divisions that saw action during the Vietnam War. The year 1966 marked when the 82nd Airborne Division, an elite infantry division specializing in parachute assault missions, arrived in Vietnam. In May of 1969, the 101st Airborne Division, also known as the Screaming Eagles, participated in critical conflicts, one of which was the Battle of Hamburger Hill. In 1967, Both airborne divisions were requested for action within the United States itself to assist in putting an end to the unrest in Detroit. In Vietnam, the 4th Infantry Division fought numerous fights between 1966 and 1970, one of which was the problematic Battle of Dak To, 1967–68. Brigade or regiment. A brigade can have anything from 1,500 to 3,200 soldiers in it, and its headquarters will be in charge of the operational strategy for anywhere from 2 to 5 combat battalions. Brigades are typically used for autonomous or semi-independent operations and are usually led by colonels, with command sergeant majors serving as the senior non-commissioned officers in the company. In some circumstances, the command may be assumed by a brigadier general. Instead of being classified as brigades, units of this size range that belong to the armored cavalry, rangers, and special forces are referred to as regiments or groups. The 173rd Airborne Brigade was the first significant ground organization of the United States Army to be sent to Vietnam. It was stationed there from 1965 until 1971 and suffered the loss of over 1,800 soldiers. The 173rd is most well known for its participation in the Battle of Dak To, 1967–1968, which took place against the North Vietnamese and resulted in high casualties for both the Marines and the 173rd. When the 173rd returned to the United States in 1972, some units were integrated into the 101st Airborne Division, while the remaining elements were deactivated. Battalion. This includes anywhere from 300 to 1,000 soldiers and 4 to 6 different companies. In most cases, a lieutenant colonel serves as the commander of a battalion, and a command sergeant major acts as the principal non-commissioned officer assistant. A battalion is able to carry out operations on its own, provided that the actions are of a limited scale and last for a short period of time and that it also runs its own administration. The term squadron refers to an infantry unit of approximately the same size as an armored or air cavalry unit. The term squadron refers to an infantry, armored, or air cavalry unit of comparable size. The company, battery, or troop. A company comprises anywhere from 3 to 5 platoons, with a total of 60 to 200 troops. A captain is in charge of it, while a first sergeant serves as the commander's primary non-commissioned officer aide. Instead of being named a company, the term battery is used when the element in question is an artillery unit. It is referred to as a troop, whether it is armored or air cavalry. A company is a tactical-sized unit that is capable of carrying out a function on the battlefield by itself. The Charlie Company was the one that was responsible for the massacre that took place in 1968 at My Lai, which claimed the lives of many innocent civilians. Platoon. A typical platoon consists of between 16 and 44 troops, is commanded by a lieutenant, and has an NCO serving as the second in command. In most cases, 3 to 4 squads or sections make up a platoon. Squad. A typical Army squad consists of between 4 and 10 troops and is often headed by a sergeant or staff sergeant. A team is the most basic unit in the Army's organizational structure and is an essential element. Some branches are comprised of 2 squads, each of which reports to a staff sergeant who commands the section. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then make sure you click on the like button and also subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this.